Hello, my friends. Welcome. It's John Peterson from the Arlington Institute, and I'm here to talk to a wonderful friend who is going to be with us at Transition Talks on the 10th of September. Gregg Braden, how are you, friend?
Hey, John, I am doing really well, and I am excited to be with you today. I'm especially excited because today we get to talk about what's coming up when I come to your part of the world in September and a very unique transition talk. I'll let you
Oh, yeah,
share with
yeah,
our audience. Yeah.
yeah. It's going to be quite different. Uh, Certainly you're gonna dominate the day, and but we're going to have a number of different kind of formats, and we're going to start with a quartet, which
Yeah.
is the program that you and I and Kingsley Dennis and Penny Kelly do every other week. And we're going to be live with everybody but Kingsley, unless the government changes its rules in the next 2 weeks, because he can't come over from England. And we're going to do you know, all of our viewers have a chance to be part of the studio audience for the production of this hour-long event. And then we're going to come, you and I are going to do What's Up, which is our half-hour kind of conversation kind of program that we do on, again, every other week. And so and then you're going to have the whole afternoon to itself. So it's really going to be a lot of
Hmm.
fun. And we're really looking forward to it, and particularly looking forward to what you're going to have to say. So talk to us a little bit about what you've got on your mind.
You know, John, of course, I'll work with whatever's happening earlier in the day, but the topic that I'm going to share to our transitions audience is about transhumanism uh, in general, and specifically transhumanism targeted at the year 2030. And what I'm finding, John, is so interesting. You know, when you use the word transhumanism, there's some people have no idea what it is. Some people that have heard of it, and they think it's like a science fiction concept for something far off in the future. And then there are others that are right on. They know exactly what's going on, and they're pressed to get clear information on what's going on. So I'm going to address all three of those. The bottom line, John, is that we are being, as a society, we're being conditioned to believe that we are flawed as a species, as carbon-based life. This is actually being taught in universities and high school classrooms in biology, that the human form is flawed. And among those flaws are things like our emotions that can
Uh,
cloud our judgment, or emotions that can slow our logic, things like our memories and the significance that we give to the memories that link us to our past.
right.
These are the kinds of things that we're being taught are human flaws. And of course, there's a solution for those flaws, and it's technology.
Mm,
And there are forms of technology, and this isn't some advanced technology, you know, as I mentioned, way in the future. This stuff is happening right now. It's being introduced into societies. Some in some parts of the world are more accepting than others. But right now, John, while we're having this conversation, there are rules, regulations, and policies that are being formulated and implemented upon society, and society is not fully aware of the implications of what this technology is all about. And we're talking about additives to the blood, we're talking about sensors in the skin, about computer chips and artificial intelligence embedded into the brain, into the heart. And when I talk to young people, John, about this, they're so indoctrinated into worshiping the savior of technology. You know, technology is going to save us all. They don't see a problem
yeah.
with merging human biology with these gadgets. And what the science is clearly showing us, and this is where I'm going to share a lot of examples of this, is that we as biological beings uh, fall under a principle that's called use it or lose it. And I know a lot of
Yeah.
biologists are familiar with that. When we begin to replace natural functions, neurons in the brain, neurons in the heart,
Yeah.
immune response in the human body, when we begin to replace those things with technology, with chemicals that are doing these things for us, our body begins to atrophy. Those systems begin to atrophy. In one lifetime, we pass that on to the next generation, and pretty soon we begin to lose, within that one generation, we begin to lose the very essence of our humanness that
Yes.
we cherish the most. And this is what's on the line right now. The title of this program, Transhuman 2030, is because there is a goal through the United Nations and through the World Economic Forum and what's called the Great Reset to implement much of the transhuman agenda, and it is an agenda, by the year 2030. It's 9 short years away.
This is,
And
yeah.
yeah, and I think it's important that we understand. I'm not saying do or not do. What I think is important is that we understand what our potential
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
before we lose it, before we give it away to technology, so we can make
This,
a choice, conscious
this
choice.
is one of the most important conversations I think that we can have. It's fundamental to what's going on in the world right now.
Yeah.
And it's this kind of divergence. We talked about it here at Transition Talks and in any of a number of times before, but this divergence between this kind of technocracy kind of track where technology takes care of everything, including what, as you're talking about, the essence of humanity. And the other track is this personal development and kind of capability of freedom and, you know, enabling the extraordinary kind of capabilities that we all have that are innate within us. And so it's giant. This is a giant kind of event that's going on right now. And what you're talking about is the essence of, you know, what we're all going to be confronted with in the coming years. And if you have an idea about what's going on, which is what you're going to talk about, then you've got the basis to make the decisions and decide one way or another. Otherwise, you just get carried downstream.
Yeah, precisely, John. You know, we're only beginning to understand the deep truth of what it really means to be human, of what our full human potential and capacity is. And underlying that capacity, we're beginning to understand the sophistication of human biology and the fact that we are not the product of random
Yeah.
processes that develop slowly, gradually over long periods of time. Certainly that has happened in our past. But something happened to us when we emerged as modern humans 200,000 years ago, a series of mutations that cannot be explained
Yeah.
by natural processes. And those mutations are what give us our human capacities of sympathy, empathy, compassion, emotion, the power to give significance to our memories, the very qualities that transhumanists believe are flaws and they would like to erase. So I think it is really important that we not focus necessarily on the negative. It's important to be aware of the potentials, but I prefer to put my time into unveiling the deep truth of who we are and what our potential is. And my sense is, John, once we embrace the potential that lives within each of us, the urgency to move to technology and the urgency to give our power away, we have less of that because we realize literally we are the technology. We are a soft technology of neurons and cell membranes and ion potentials rather than a hard technology
Yeah.
of chips and wires and chemicals. But here's the beautiful thing. We self-regulate using thought, feeling, emotion, belief, breath, and focus, the very principles of our most ancient and cherished indigenous and spiritual traditions. When we bring this all together with the best science of the modern world, I think for the first time, perhaps, John, we understand what it means to be fully human, what it means to be pure human, and then we can make the choice as to how much
Yeah.
technology we want to embrace in our lives. That's what I'm going to be talking about at
Yeah.
Transitions and much more.
We're going to be talking about what you're going to talk about is a better alternative, a better option, a opportunity that in the face of all of what's going on here, there is another way and a better way and a more fundamental way. And I mean, I say again, this is just really deep, kind of structurally important kind of stuff. And so we're really looking forward to it. Going to have you here on the 10th, Saturday, the 10th of September. We get started first thing in the morning at about 9 or 9:30. I can't remember which, but you can find out everything at transitiontalks.org. We're going to go to 5 o'clock at night. Then we're going to have dinner together and a big crowd of folks. And it's going to be a wonderful, it always is to have you here with us. And so it's going to be a great time and we're looking forward to it. And particularly, this is new material that you've got that we've not ever heard before. And so we're looking forward to it. So thanks, Greg. We'll see you. See you in a
Yeah,
couple of weeks.
thanks so much, John. You know, I look forward to this event every year, and every year I think it's not going to get any better, and it always does. So I'm looking forward to the new and
Absolutely.
improved transitions of
Yeah.
2022. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Thanks so much.